If I had made 0 FPL transfers so far this season, what would my current overall rank be? Ooh. Would it be better?
A great success!
Or would it actually be worse?
I like it.
Let's find out. So my team in game week 1 looked like this. With the salt and pepper, no spice missionary goalkeeper Sanchez between the sticks, the crossing fetish man Trent Alexander, Luke 3-month wonder Shaw, Liverpool's actual best fullback, the Greek god Tsimikas, the Egyptian king Mo Salah, you little dancer, the penalty merchant himself Bruno Fernandes, now Harvey Barnes, ooh, it's an equaliser, Harvey Barnes, the Brazilian Neymar Rafinha, the one and only Daddy Ings, oh yes daddy, the big D man himself Mikel Antonio, and FPL legend Callum Trollson. On the bench we also have the GoPro merchant Benjamin Foster, Joshua Pile of Crap Brownhill, Luke Manbun Ailing, and the English Danny Alves Tino Livramento. Yes, I actually had Livramento in game week 1. Best ever FPL manager. So what we're going to do here, lads, is grab our team by the scruff, pick it up, and take it on a journey. We're on gamechange.co.uk, hashtag not an ad by the way. They have created the What If FPL machine, which works out what your overall rank would be if you made no changes from your game week 1 team. Just so you can see how much of a profit your transfers and captaincy changes may have made, or even lost you points. What? So by what if machine, it actually means what if you weren't a cheeky scrub and spent 30 hours a week on your team, where you might have actually done better if you hadn't made any changes or looked at it at all. Oh dear, let's find out. So with this, we can see how proactive we have been this season, and maybe if there's a player in here that hasn't done bits this season, we should actually look at when we took them out to see how good our decision making has been. And spoiler alert, I can confirm my decision making is at least better than the Man United owners, because Ole is still at the wheel. He's still the manager. How? Are you mad? But first, I'm going to go through each player here and see how many points they did and see when I took them out and all that. And then compare this team's overall points to my actual overall points to see what's happening there. Were my transfers good so far? So in goals, we started with the Robert Sanchez, where so far this season, he has got 35 points in the bank, making him the 12th best keeper so far. Wait, that's not great at all. I like it. Thankfully though, I did actually chuck him in the bin for Ramsdale in game week 8, who since then has scored the 3rd most points out of all goalkeepers since then. Only 2 behind the person who has scored the most, which is Alex McCarthy. How has that happened? I don't know. I don't think I've seen a single geezer with him. Like, what? Okay, then. But the decision to give Sanchez a red card out of my team, wink wink, for Ramsdale on the wild card has turned out to be a spantastically good decision so far. Yeah! At the back then, we started with the Sir Trent Alexander, who we did actually sell for just 1 week this season, as he did have a little bit of an injury, and then I was going to wildcard the week after, so I went for a 1 week punt. And my 1 week replacement for him was actually Azpilicueta, who scored 10 points that game week with 2 assists, hey! But then apart from that, I have kept Trent for every single one of his points right here, where right now he is also the 2nd highest scoring defender out of them all as well. Amazing, amazing stuff having him. He is essential. Next to him, though, is Luke Shaw. Oh dear. Where he has scored only 25 points in 11 game weeks, which is actually less than Reece James has scored in just the last 2 game weeks. I like it. I did actually keep him all the way up to my game week 8 wildcard here, though, where in those first 7 game weeks, 36 other defenders managed to score more points than him, including the likes of Eric Dyer and even Tsimikas, who only played 3 games. So Luke Shaw, the Burger King merchant himself, was definitely a proper wibbly-wobbly mistake on the Game Week 1 team, wasn't it? Like a proper big boy, oh dear. But then you remember, he was the most popular and the most owned player in Game Week 1. And he's done that bad. If he fails, we all fail. Yeah, we all failed. There we are then. Tsimikas next to him though, who obviously was only in my team just for the first 2 weeks as Robertson had a little injury. So we aren't expecting his total points tally here to be humongous, right? Humongous what? But in those 2 games he did actually start for us. He scored a very juicy 17 points, making him the 4th highest scoring defender after just 2 game weeks as well. So what an absolute amazing punt he was there. A best ever punt. Like, those were the days starting Simicast. Oh, amazing. My replacement for him was actually the one and only Marcel, who I brought in game week 4. And in game week 4, he scores 13 points. Hey! A very great success. No, like, how amazing is that? That is almost perfect on the points. Not just, yeah, I've gained some points. Almost perfect to get the maximum points. I like it. The Mo Salah is next year then, who doesn't really need to be talked about much, really, does he? With him being my Game Week 1 captain and every single geezer and their nans, because he did kind of play Norwich, you know? And also has been my captain for most of the season as well. Where he has now scored 117 points this season. Like 50 more than any other player. Fair enough. And he was obviously my captain in Game Week 1, so that's the reason my score here is doubled, you know, because as he would have been captain every week for this team, you know? And if I did actually permanently captain the Mo Salah, I would have actually had more points than changing captain so far. Oh, that's not good. With me not captaining him in Game Week 3, where my captain actually scored more, hey? Me not captaining him in Game Week 4, where my captain scored more again, hey? But unfortunately, in Game Week 7, my captain was Ronaldo, who was an absolute blanker that week. He didn't score any points. Meanwhile, the Salah got the mighty 13 points against the Man City. Salah doing Salah things, really, innit? So if I did captain him that week, I would have actually had more points from captaincy so far, but realistically, I was never going to captain against Man City away, was I? Yeah, well, why not? He gets points. It's just Salah. But apart from that, the captaincy has almost been perfect as well. The Bruno Fernandes was next to him in my game week team here, who I actually only kept for just 3 weeks, as I then used him to get Ronaldo in game week 4 when he came in. Where in those 3 weeks, he was actually the 4th highest scoring midfielder after that very naughty game week 1 hat-trick. Like, doesn't that feel like so long ago? Bruno hat-trick. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Like, it feels so long ago. I feel like I could have created a family and my own son could have started playing FPL. It just feels so long ago, man. But those transfers to use Bruno to get in the Ronaldo also profited in points. So, hey, with Ronaldo instantly paying off being my captain in Game Week 4, where he scored the 13 points, double to the 26, where Bruno didn't do anything that game week. Very nice. Ooh, Harvey Barnes, it's an equaliser, is next then, who is actually Harvey Barnes, not an equaliser, more of an oh dear. All the gear, absolute no idea from this fella, where he has only scored 27 points this season. Terrible. Which is actually not even in the top 100 for points so far. Out of all players. Not even the top 100. Oh, crumbs. Thankfully, though, I did actually only keep him for 2 game weeks, meaning I did actually sell him directly before Norwich in game week 3. Looking back, why did I do that? But then he didn't score any points, so hey, it worked. So yeah, that really could have been the biggest of the big boys. I like it. But it wasn't, okay. And he also wasn't so much so that my replacement for Barnes was a Ben Rama, who we all know was scoring all the points. He actually blanked for a few weeks, but then he did get me a nice double-digit haul a couple of game weeks after. Lovely. But also, more importantly, definitely more importantly than points, he gained me all of that extra team value. Oh, yes, amazing. The final midfielder I've got here, then, is Rafinha, who has got 50 big boy points so far from him this season, where I have actually owned him for every single one of those, apart from game week 6 and 7, because I thought he was injured. And turns out he was, and he played every game. But I actually transferred him out for Saar, who scored more points than him in Game Week 6. Hey! But then less points than him in Game Week 7. So I think I got a tiny, tiny profit there. But profit is profit in FPL points, right? Stonks, yeah. Moving on to the attack then, we started with the Daddy Ings. Oh yes, Daddy! Actually more like a oh no Daddy this season, isn't he? Only scoring 39 points in total so far. But actually, I only kept him for the first 4 game weeks, in which he did actually score 21 of those points in that time. Hey! Making him the 6th highest scoring forward at the time I sold him as well. So yeah, that's pretty good. With actually all of the forwards scoring more points than him at that time were also more expensive, meaning I couldn't have had them with my current team as well. Wow, that's good. So to start off with, yeah, pretty damn good from the Daddy. Daddy? My replacement for him, though, was the big boy Bamford, who ended up getting injured the week after and then spent the next 2 weeks on my bench, stuck there, stuck in the mud. No other opportunity to get in a more fit player, and I probably would have got more points if I just kept the Ings. Now that is actually unlucky. No, it actually is. I like it. Antonio with a massive 61 points so far next to them, with every single one of them, and actually more, going all into my pocket as I've owned him since Game Week 1, haven't removed him, and I did also captain him, like quite a lot of other people did in Game Week 3 as well. Not really much else to chinwag about him though, other than the fact he's just an absolute geezer. Don't sell him ever. I might sell him, by the way, but we'll see. Finishing off the Game Week 1 team here then with Callum Wilson, who has scored 32 points so far this season, where I actually owned him for just 3 game weeks before he ended up getting the customary injury that he always does. You know, he's just made out of absolute cotton wool. What's up with him? But in that time, he did actually score 16 points in the first 3 game weeks, making him the 6th highest scoring forward at that time of selling as well. And he was also used to get in Ronaldo, as I did Bruno and Callum Wilson out to bring in Ronaldo and Jota, where Ronaldo got me all of the points with the captaincy in Game Week 4, and then Jota was also scoring as well. Absolutely perfecto mundo stuff. No, it was absolutely beautiful, it was. But that is actually it for my starting players for Game Week 1 and how they've done so far this season if I didn't get rid of them. The what if machine also tells me I would have gained an extra 57 points from automatic subs on this team, as a few of my players either lost their place in a Barnes or Simicast, or also got injured like an Ings and a Wilson. So now what I'm going to do is show you my actual total points and rank so far this season with the changes I've made, and then compare it to this what if machine to see how many points I've actually gained from my own transfers and captaincy changes. Where my overall points in my current team is a gigantic, jaw-dropping 771 points. Like, damn, son, that's honestly bigger than Hazard's bunda. Wow, okay. Which makes my overall rank so far this season 9,091st, top 10k. Way! This is actually kind of the best start I've ever had in FPL. So on one side, I'm absolutely creaming myself, and on one side, I'm absolutely crapping myself. Very nice. But the what if machine also tells me that without any transfers or captaincy changes from my Game Week 1 team, I would have actually currently scored only 700 points. Oh, that's still pretty damn good, isn't it? Wow, okay. Meaning my overall rank without any changes from this team would be 299,342nd in the world. Wow! Like, I actually wasn't expecting that at all. I was expecting like 1 million or 2. Oh, okay, I'll take that. Where in the last 2 seasons where I actually finished in the top 100k, I actually had a worse current rank at this stage of the season when I was making changes. I think that's a pretty good thing. Okay, fair play. Now, obviously, I also wouldn't have set up my Game Week 1 team to make no changes, so it actually could have been a lot more than this, as the likes of Simicast and Ings were always going to be short-term punts, you know? But it does give you a very, very good idea of how proactive you've been so far this season, which in my case has actually completely defied all expectations, really, hasn't it? Yeah. As the what if machine tells me that after making my 9 transfers so far this season, and also some captaincy changes, I have managed to gain myself a very sexy 71 total points added from my transfers and captaincy changes. So in the words of Borat himself, great success, very nice. So basically, so far this season, my decision making has been properly on it, hasn't it, boysies? And I'm very, very happy with how the season is going and how I've gone for it with all my transfers and all that as well. All of them almost working out perfectly. So I invite all of you cheeky scrubs out there to check out your team on this what if machine. Again, not a sponsor, it's just kind of cool to see, isn't it? Yeah. And also let me know down in the comments if you've gained, or maybe even if you lost points so far, what your current rank is, and what your rank would have been if you kept your Game Week 1 team and made no changes, because it's just quite interesting to see. But anyway, that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching, and also, remember...
Don't be a cheeky scrub. Subscribe to Nathan Bacon right now. Don't let your memes be dreams.